Hey, what's up everybody? It's John Albino. In this video, I'm going to show you how to squat properly. And by properly, I mean safely and with technique that's going to maximize your training results. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's get started. Before we get into the actual movement of the squat, we're going to have to discuss both the setup phase and the unracking phase. There's a lot of different components to these phases, and they're all very important for both strength, alignment, safety, and performance. So I'm going to break each one down individually. First thing we need to do is set the bar at the proper height. Proper height is at the midpoint of the chest. Once the bar is set, there's a couple of decisions that need to be made. And one of them is, are we going to be doing a high bar squat or a low bar squat? The difference is essentially where the bar is going to be sitting on our back. There is advantages to the low bar squat. When the bar is as low as possible on the back, you could lift more weight. The weight is now closer to your center of mass, you could lift more, so it's a stronger position. The downside, when that bar gets low and your arms are wrapped around it, the downside is it puts a lot of extra stress in the shoulders and the bicep tendons. So therefore, for that one reason only, I don't recommend the low bar squat. So we're going to do a high bar squat. High bar squat is essentially going to be this position here, as opposed to the low bar down here. You can see it's only a few inches, but it makes a significant difference, especially as you get stronger and you start really loading it up. So now that we just decided where the bar placement is going to be, I'm going to go over the unracking of the bar. To unrack the bar properly, we're going to start by grabbing the bar with a thumbless grip, which essentially means the thumb is going to be on the same side of the bar as the fingers, and set your grip approximately shoulder width apart. Duck your head underneath the bar. Bring both feet directly and vertically underneath the bar, with the feet shoulder width apart and the toes externally rotated between 5 and 15 degrees. From this position, big breath, squeeze the chest up, get the back nice and tight, and then do a mini squat by just extending the knees. Take one step back with the left, one step back with the right, and now we're in the set position to begin the movement. Before I go into the movement phase, I just want to cover a couple other things that are involved in the setup phase that are very important. One is neck position. Most coaches teach eyes to the sky or looking up to the ceiling. This is an incorrect posture. The neck should remain neutral. To keep your neck neutral, focus your eyes on the point where the wall meets the floor. That just respects the neutral curve of the spine. It's safer, and you'll have better balance that way. Once our neck is set, our alignment's nice and tight, we're going to focus on braking with the hips. So it's called a hip brake. Essentially that means that the initial movement is going to take place by sticking your butt back instead of a knee brake, which would mean jutting the knees forward. Jutting the knees forward puts more stress on the knees and less emphasis on the glutes and the hamstring. So for those two reasons, we don't want to do it. So we start by pushing the butt back with the hip brake, making sure that we load our weight up onto our heels as we drop down. We want to get to the point where the crease in the hip is lower than the knee. So it's going to be lower. It's not going to share this horizontal plane. That will be parallel. We want to go a little bit deeper, sink it down, knees in line with the toes, and return to starting position. So from the front, notice my knee alignment. Knee alignment is very important. It's common to see knees collapsing inward, especially in the transition between lowering and lifting. You'll see this go on. If that's the case for you, think about spreading the floor. Your feet will not move, but you're going to have an outward pressure on the floor, essentially pushing your knees out. It should feel like you're squatting in between your legs, not on top of your legs like this. Open the knees up. Get down nice and deep. In the bottom range, weight is still on the heels, knees are still in line with the toes, back is arched. I'm going to have a good breath on the way up, and return to starting position. Once you get to the top, we have a decision about locking the knees out or not. If you're going heavy, I like to come all the way up, the knee will be fully extended, and you can almost take a half a second to a second pause in between reps. If you're doing light hypertrophy work or conditioning, you can go 90% of the way up and drop right back down into the next rep. That keeps a little bit more tension on the quadriceps. But for heavy lifting, I do like to come all the way up and lock the knees. So this is John Alvino. That's how to squat properly. Thanks for checking it out. And leave a comment underneath. I appreciate it.